Welcome to another episode of the Perps. I got this shit confused. Uh, Welcome to Horror Never Dies Season 3. This is the finale. Um, Bunch of random topics tonight. Got a few things I want to kind of talk about and whatnot. And I hope whoever's tuning in live, make sure you hit that like button. It'd be much appreciated. And subscribe to everybody that pops up here. You know what I'm saying? Terrence, Rashad gonna be in here momentarily. But like we're gonna have a solid show tonight. Um, then I got the Perp show on Halloween. It's gonna be a Halloween special around the same time. It's gonna be on a Friday though, so that should be fun. Just kind of giving y'all a heads up on that. And with that, let me know what y'all are watching. Terrence, what you been watching this month so far? Let the people know.
In relation to entertainment as a whole, I guess I should just go over it pretty quickly. Unfortunately, I wasted time watching Peacemaker season two, but in terms of horror related stuff, um, Black Phone 2, Strangers Chapter 2, Good Boy, The Conjuring Last Rites. I've also been watching a lot of older horror films with friends, like we had finished up a couple weeks ago the Children of the Corn films, and then just today we have finished up the Phantasm films. So
That's
that's what I've
dope.
been checking out. A lot of
What was
horror
your thought?
related stuff.
What was your thoughts with Black Phone 2?
The movie I thought was okay. The problem was is that I felt that it was ultimately a waste of potential in terms of what they could have
Thank you.
did. And that you have a lot of interesting visuals with a really cool ending, but the problem is that so much of it was so undercooked, especially if you watch the first film. I thought that if the writing would have been stronger, you could have ended up with something better than the first film. So unfortunately, they fumbled a lot of what they could have done.
And all you had to do, right, is kill somebody. Just kill somebody.
Yeah, just
What up,
can't
Rashad?
one body at least. Goddamn, yo, what's good, y'all?
Hey,
What up? What up?
Hey, not a damn thing, man. I know I'm a little bit late. I just came in from work and I threw my pizza in the
Nah,
oven real
you
quick.
just in time. You
Oh, just
just
in
in
time.
time.
All right, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So like, yeah, like the Black Phone. Like, I don't understand. I guess it's just something about it that general audiences like about it. Maybe they like that generic, you know, uh, I don't know, happy ending. But it's just like how, like, for people that always complain about movies, it's like y'all didn't see an issue with the fact that like he's able to attack people in his dreams, people in their dreams, or even outside of reality, but yet he's throwing snowballs at motherfuckers and shit at motherfuckers' windows instead of killing motherfuckers. Like that one dude that was in at the camp and shit. He was like kind of like the head dude. I was like, he should have been bodied. Like right in that room when he was looking at shit, like he should have been bodied immediately. Everybody that just could have helped them find these bodies should have been, you know, finito.
another another thing that I had mentioned to the friends when the movie ended was that I told them that there was a lot of playing it safe. Like it seemed like this time around, they was like, "Hey, man,
Exactly.
we can't do nothing to these kids. You know how humans are when it comes to children. We got to make sure everybody's safe. We can scare them, but we can't do nothing too crazy. We already gave them some stuff in Black Phone 1, so Black Phone 2, I feel that it's really going to be a banger if we just let the audience use their imagination. I'm just sitting there going like, what the
No,
hell are you thinking? Hell
no,
no.
no. Because I was like, I'm like, yo, this nigga is the weakest fucking, you know, uh, slasher, killer, whatever you want to call him. Because it's like he don't kill nobody. Like you
Right.
set up all this dope atmospheric things, like the acting was good, but then like you cheapen it by just not, and maybe they did that on purpose to set up a Black Phone 3 or something like that, and then they're gonna start killing people off. Like, but it's just like you could have just done that in the first one. Like, I would have been fine with either Finn dying. You know, so I feel like that would have made sense. You know, for his character and stuff like that. So then, like, if you were to do a Black Phone 3, he could have been helping her on the other side and so certain shit like that. Because he's always been kind of on the fence about like the supernatural shit, anyways, and it would have just made sense for his arc. But just kill somebody, Jesus Christ, man! It's just lame. It was lame. It was lame.
I just like the fact that I used to be a writer, like when I would do short horror stories for the class, like whenever I did like a certain type of story and I said that I was going to do a second or a third one, the reason why they were interested in follow-up stories is because they were captivated by that particular story. So if you do something and then you're telling humans like, hey, the next time you come, something's really gonna happen, then it's like, well, why do I give a fuck when you just wasted my time?
Yep.
Right. Rashad, what you be? Oh, I need to get your thoughts on. Did you watch Train to Busan? Right.
Watched
You
the
finished
first thing
that?
this morning. Yep, first thing this morning. Yep, got up, wiped the cold
How
out of my eye, hit play, and yeah,
how did you feel about it? I want to know your
hell of,
thoughts.
hell of a fucking ride, man. That's probably one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen, and I'm embarrassed that it took so long for me to see it because I've always heard about it. People always
Mhm.
talked about it, but I'm like a Korean zombie movie. I don't give a fuck about that. But dog, the 2 hours flew by so fast, and I'm like, damn, this shit was good.
Yeah, the sequel isn't like really anything special. I wouldn't like if you want to check it out, but you know the sequel ain't that crazy. But
Yeah. But not well. I tell you
ho-
what, some of the characters pissed me off too, though, man. I hit you up early.
mhm.
Remember, I was like the homeless guy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
dude, he worked my last bad nerve, man. The scene when they was on the train, they was
yeah,
yeah, they was in the they was crawling on the what you call it when the lights went out, and the zombies couldn't see.
yeah,
And he had to be the one motherfucker that fell off and made all that goddamn noise. I'm like, no, leave
yeah.
him.
It had to
Let
be
him
what?
die.
It got to be somebody. You have
Gotta
to
be
like
somebody.
with horror movies. Even though like I appreciate smart ones, but like you
Yeah,
kind of need some dumb characters in there, some father and
yeah.
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying to go kind of like just get things going. But yeah, Train to Busan is great, and I want to talk
Oh
about
yeah.
another zombie film shortly. But what else you been watching this week and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I watched Train to Busan this morning, and then I went and saw Shelby Oaks a little bit later.
Hmm.
So I have a video for that right now. When I thought that was pretty decent. You know, I mean, I
It's
wouldn't put
solid.
it up.
It's solid.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it up there as like one of my favorite horror movies of this year. But I was impressed in just the fact that our boy Stuckman did it. You know, the OG.
Yeah.
Yo, I felt proud. You know what
I
I'm saying? I'm
I
like,
don't.
damn, that's my boy.
There are some people that are trying to shit on him and stuff like that, and are saying like, "Oh, how much did Mike Flanagan kind of assist him?" Or I don't think he really assisted him at all. He probably just helped him like get certain scenes done, or you know, because Stuckman would talk about like, "Yo, there's certain scenes I didn't have the budget for," and they
Right.
were able that's why he was able to get um extra money. But what the dope thing about it is that this movie was kickstarted and stuff, and on one of the posters they got all where you see all the face of old girl, whatever. It's all the names of people that um
Oh, that donated.
donated and stuff like
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Yeah, I
That shit's
thought.
fire.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid, man.
Mhm.
Like my only gripes with the movie was some scenes kind of dragged a little too long. Like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you something embarrassing that happened to me today, man. I said it in the video too. It was about like 2 o'clock, right? So usually around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I usually take my old man nap. I think you know this is going. So before I walked in, there's a Steak and Shake right by the AMC, man. So I stopped by Steak and Shake, got me a burger, and then I had some points
This
on my
nigga got
Apple
the
Card.
itis. Nigga
Yeah,
got the
man.
itis.
Yo, grab some popcorn. Yo, when it got to the prison scene, and she's like slowly walking through the prison, because remember this movie is really quiet. Also, this movie is very quiet. So she's
Mhm.
walking right. So I feel my eyes getting heavy, and I say, "Oh, I said, Rashad, don't do it. You cool?
Oh,
You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right." And
you can make it.
out of nowhere, to my surprise, I dozed off without even me knowing it, and I said, real loud. And I kind of sunk in my seat, right? And I heard people in the audience talk. I said, "Oh my god!" I was embarrassed. I was
Yeah, I
so
hate that
embarrassed.
shit because sometimes you realize like, oh shit, like I was fucking snoring,
I
or
was
you can hear
snoring,
yourself snoring.
and it was
That's
perfect.
the
It was
weirdest.
loud. It was loud
That's the
too.
weirdest. That's the weirdest experience when like you could hear things in your sleep while you're
Mhm.
sleeping.
Right,
Like that
right.
shit's so fucking weird. I
I
don't know
was
what
in,
that is.
I was in bad, yo, and then I try to play it. I try to play it off right by like like clearing my throat.
My
Yeah,
bad. My bad. My bad.
yeah, my bad, y'all.
But
But
that
yeah, but
desperately needs talking about theater stuff, and like I just constantly see people talk about their theater experiences. Like they definitely need to bring back ushers, man. Just at least one. Put like one usher
mhm.
in each. You know what I'm saying? But go
Right,
ahead.
right. Oh no, but I was just gonna say, yeah, besides some of the scenes dragging a little bit and some pacing issues, but overall I thought you did a good job, building the tension and just I was engaged in the story. Like I was really invested on, what happened to this girl and who took her or whatever.
Yeah.
Some jump scares that surprised me,
Yeah.
So by the time it was over with, I said, okay, we're gonna get another Omen thing here with the baby. Cool.
The beginning kind of reminded me of the movie Strange Harvest that came out shortly, actually like a month ago. I
Oh
think,
yeah.
yeah, it came out last month. It kind of reminded me. Terrence, did you get a chance to check out Shelby Oaks yet?
I have
Do
not
you plan?
seen it.
Do you plan on watching it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh
for
shit! Well,
me,
I'm glad I ain't spoiled too much, man. My bad. Damn, I'm assuming we all watched it, bro.
yeah, I always watch a lot of things, so essentially everything is on the list. It's just a matter of
So get
priority.
into it.
Also, yeah, and then also because a lot of times I watch stuff with friends, so we usually vote as a group, and then it just depends on the timing and everything. So like with Black
Must
Phone
be
2
nice.
and Good Boy, we hadn't seen that because one of the Terrifier films was playing again. I think the third one, but we had already seen that, but we hadn't seen Black Phone 2 and Good Boy, so we just ended up watching those two.
We had a double
Interesting.
feature.
Yeah, yeah, we had a
Oh,
double
nice,
That's what's
nice,
up. And
nice.
Good Boy is a good movie to do a double feature just because of how short it is. It doesn't even feel that short though. Like it's really well paced out. Like for an hour and 10 minutes, it's really
Yeah, yeah.
really solid. But
I think if you're a dog lover, you will definitely. It's more intense if you're a dog lover, just because you don't want to see nothing happen to the damn dog. Because
shit,
it was a couple of times I yelled at the screen. Well, Perp, I know how you feel about dogs, and Terrence, I know
yeah.
you don't give a fuck about dogs, but I love dogs, right? So especially when the guy grabbed the dog, right? It's like get the fuck away. I say, hey,
Why is it?
I
Why
don't
is it
hear you
though
like
that like like people have so much compassion for an animal more than an actual like just their own like a human being and stuff like
you know
we
why?
could
I,
cheer on
well,
somebody dying and shit like
I can explain that very well as I've done for the last 20 years. So,
Oh no,
number one, humans
let
are
me go check my
trash,
pizza
but
because I know Terrence
you
gonna give
know,
the wrong version. Hello.
but
Go ahead.
number one, humans are trash. But then when you expand upon that, you
Mhm,
understand that humans, when they look at each other, they tend to have all these emotional gripes. But when it comes to animals, like when it comes to children, there's a
mhm.
sense of purity and innocence. Like a child is forever trusting in a way that an adult is not. And a
Yeah.
dog will essentially trust you and be your friend as long as you're not abusing it. Like the dog doesn't care about your hair, your clothes, what your house looks like. The dog doesn't care if you got fired. It don't care nothing about nothing. It wants to
Unless if
protect
you're
you.
black, they bark at you. Always
Mm.
happens. Always
Sure.
happens.
Not necessarily. I mean, well, if it's your dog, like I mean, to quote my man DMX, yo, let me tell you something. Yo, dogs love unconditionally. You know what I mean? Yo, a dog, yo, I could beat my dog's ass, right? Fuck him up. Somebody knock at the door. Yo, I'm gonna handle this. We get back to that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what you
So dogs love unconditionally, and like Terrence said, they don't give a fuck about your flaws. Like as long as you care for the dog, and sometimes even when you do, because I've known people that have abused their dogs, right? And the
Mhm.
dog would still kill a motherfucker to protect them.
well,
Like I
Yeah.
mean, I had an uncle. He had a chow, and chow's a very like that's an aggressive breed, and he would beat the dog with a belt whenever the dog got out of line.
Goddamn.
And yeah, and the dog would cry, and the dog would cry like a human. But then, if anybody came up to the door and did try to do something to my uncle, oh, your arm's getting ripped off. They don't
Well,
play.
That's crazy.
not all dogs are the same, but like my friends, when they were looking at me throughout the film because they know like I don't care about animals, so they were just expecting me just to critique the movie as is, and like for them, they were gonna give it an A+ just because it's a dog. Like it could have just they don't care nothing. It's just a dog. The dog could just be sitting there. They're like, "Yep, 10 out of 10." I'm like, "Nope, you didn't even see the movie yet."
Yeah, no,
So
I
for
want to give it
me,
A plus now.
so for me, I told them that as I was watching it, maybe about 10 minutes in, I knew something was wrong. Like when the dog would look out the window, and then all of a sudden I was like, like I just that was my like. So I knew that the movie got me when I turned into a dog myself, and I didn't want nothing to happen to the dog.
Terrence, why was you barking, bro?
I'm saying that's what happened when I was watching it. Like that was one of my responses.
And you were sober when you did this?
Fun.
Yeah,
That's what.
absolutely. Hey, it wasn't my fault that happened. Look, when those dark entities came out and I saw the hands, I'm telling you, that was my reaction. I was with Envy. I was with
That nigga's stupid. Yo, but that's a perfect segue because like to talk about horror movies to watch or recommendations. Chainsaw Man was just put out this weekend, and I remember seeing like a clip. Like I didn't watch it fully, but I remember seeing a clip of when it released in Japan first. Um, there's this kind of like running gag with Denji's character, the main character, and how he interacts with another character, Makima, and because Makima treats him like a dog, and in like the first season, he barks and shit. So, like that's why it was kind of funny. So like there's this scene that popped up in the movie, and then you could hear everybody just barking in the fucking theater and shit. It's just fucking stupid, but like um, Chainsaw Man, fucking fantastic, better than the Demon Slayer movie by far. Still both really good, but like this one definitely um they went crazy with Mappa did their thing with that, and I'm just excited to see what they do for season 2 and stuff and whatnot. Um, and it just also goes to show you that like the impact that anime has. I seen one person last night when I wanted to go see it a second time, but the dub version. See somebody dressed up like Denji and stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool. At least got one person. You know what I'm saying? But even like those crowds be kind of hard sometimes because like if you get a full crowd, sometimes it's a lot of younger people that are in there, and then motherfuckers be like the yap. I don't know why, but that's why I was saying the whole Ushers thing. I was like, yo, but they gotta bring Ushers in here because I was like, I don't want to start flipping
Well, I
out
mean,
people.
they won't need a usher in my theater because if I'm watching a film and a human gets out of pocket too much, I'm gonna pick them up by the neck and take them out myself.
Thank you.
And but also, but yeah, I definitely recommend if you haven't checked out Chainsaw Man, check out season 1, and then because season 1's been out for like 3 years. So then check out the movie when you get a chance. Because I definitely think it was a really dope, just like kind of thing to kind of move the story forward into the next thing. It's actually a really dope romance movie too. It's got a really dope love story, but it's also got one of the craziest fucking third acts where it's just all action for like 40 minutes fucking straight. That shit was crazy.
You say so romance, like now, romance is one of the few genres that I don't like, even though I've seen a lot of them.
It's not, but I'm not saying it's not like romance, like lovey-dovey, like because like Chainsaw Man is very much horror action. Like it's a very fucked up. And like what I mean by romance is that Denji is a character. He's like a 16-year-old kid, like, but he has like just very simple ambitions. Like he wants to grab some boobs, or just he just has like very simple wants, and like he kind of struggles with like having kind of like this love triangle between Makima and Reze and stuff like that. So it's like that's what's kind of cool about this character and whatnot. And you see how these women just manipulate him all the time and stuff, and just kind of use him.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering because I've seen a lot of them, and then especially when I'm with female friends, they just be crying and shit with the boxes of tissue, and then they just be looking at me like, "Yep, Terrence, what do you think?" I'm like, I don't feel shit, but it's just a good movie, yes.
Also, what somebody pointed out when I was watching like people's reviews on it, I was like, yeah, Chainsaw is like the only shonen anime that doesn't like you don't hear people call out their attacks or anything like that. They're the only like you do get inner monologues and stuff like that, but like you don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't call out at a single attack or. And I was like, I never noticed that. That's kind of crazy. But it's a very different type of. It's a much darker type of shonen, though, for
I
sure.
wonder if I should try that the next time I fuck somebody up, like spinning heel kick. Ha! You know,
yeah, that shit's fire.
Before you do it, my cousin used to do that to me when we used to do wrestling back when I was a kid. He would call out the move before he fucked me up. Belly, wow.
But there's just something to that. Like I know, Terrence, you probably never watched Bleach and stuff like. But when a motherfucker says Bankai,
I watched more than 50 episodes of Bleach.
All right, so you know when a motherfucker says Bankai, that shit it's up now. It's like or if a motherfucker in JJK Jujutsu Kaisen says domain expansion, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love that.
Yes.
The next movie I highly recommend if you are a zombie fan and you're looking for your fix, watch The Elixir on Netflix. This shit was fire.
That's actually next. I plan on watching that today, but after Shelby Oaks, I had to go right to work. But yeah, I plan on watching all three of them. But that's next on the list.
Watch it after this stream. I'm telling you, watch it as soon as possible. People that are watching, you'll thank me later. You know what I'm saying? That shit. And I was like, man, this is why I like Asian horror, man. They don't hold back. Like foreign horror just does not hold back. They don't give a fuck about kids. They don't give a fuck about nothing, bro. We was like, this is the story we want to tell, and you're going to fucking like it, no matter how brutal it is.
That is 100% facts. For the same reason that I think they have superior martial arts films, like they just go all out on their shit, including like actually hitting each other and doing crazy stunts.
A martial arts movie you would like, Terrence. I don't know if you checked it out or heard about it. Is Ghost Killer.
Oh, that's just fire. That is definitely on the list. I've heard about that for sure. Yep.
Yeah, Ghost Killer is dope. Then also, you know, Shelby Oaks. I recommend that just because if you have ever watched movie reviews or you are a content creator yourself and you'll be doing yourself a disservice. Show that man give him that man his flowers. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just dope to see a content creator or just like a YouTuber or a TikToker just starting to like put out films on the big screen at that level and stuff. That's really dope. You know,
dog, it inspired me, man. I've been following Stuckman since I started watching YouTube movie reviews back in 2011, I think. Like 2010, 2011. But yeah, I started watching him and Jeremy Johns around the same time, and then the Schmoes and Double Toasted. But yeah, man,
those are the days.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it felt, even though I don't know Chris Stuckman, but it feels like I do, because not only have I been following him, but he also inspired me to start my own channel. You know, it's like, damn, he went from reviewing movies to now making movies. So I'm like, well, shit, maybe I need to dust off the keyboard and start writing again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, and I don't know, people feel some type of way about Chris Stuckman and just his decision on just what was it, like him not wanting to review bad movies or something, or bash movies, which like that's his right if he wants to do that. Like, who gives a fuck? It's his channel. You know what I'm saying?
But I understand why he did that though, because you know when you actually make a film, you know what I'm saying, and you see what goes into it and the hard work that goes into it.
You have a different perspective.
You have a different perspective, exactly, man. So it's like, even if a movie's bad, it's like, I know what that motherfucker went through to make that. So nah.
Yeah, well, that's why I always have like kind of like compassion, or not compassion, but like, you know, I sympathize for movies, even if it's a movie I don't like or I don't think it was well made. It's just like it's still that's still like a hard thing to kind of just because you have to get, everybody has to be on point. Everybody has to be one pretty much at the same time. Like, it's not just the director is on one, but then like the acting is off, then like, or if the sound or the lighting is gone, like, you know what I'm saying? You got to get that shit right. That's why it's like, you know, I appreciate it. And it is dope to kind of see all these YouTubers and people that have been on these social media platforms starting to become filmmakers. You know, like earlier, there was this other one, House of Eden, that was made by some creators. And then you had Talk to Me, was it 2022, and then Bring Her Back. And then like they're putting the forget their whole names, but they put their stamp into horror and stuff like that. And I love that it's like that's where they're going towards, is just making horror movies instead of trying to do something like a drama or like a rom-com or a comedy or an action movie. Like it's so much easier just to kind of get your foot in with horror. So
Well, so in terms of Chris Stuckman, right? Like I've been watching YouTube videos since I was in high school because I graduated in '07. When it
mhm.
comes to movie reviewers, there were only two that I cared about. One was Chris Stuckman, and the other one was Jeremy Johns. Like those are the only two. Like Chris Stuckman, the way that he critiques stuff, he reminds me a little bit of myself in terms of how I break everything down. But I liked Jeremy Johns just slightly more just because he had this wild personality. But those were the two that I was watching, and it would be back to back, either Jeremy Johns first and Chris or vice versa. But that goes so many years back for myself. And then, of course, in 2012, I started creating content myself along with my brother Tremaine.
Okay. Yep.
So,
So
I appreciate Chris Stuckman. I have yet to see the movie, but I will. But I do think that it's cool
yeah.
that he's doing
And,
stuff, and you
and the
know,
fact that you got somebody like Mike Flanagan that like kind of acknowledge you and
Yeah.
something like, and just like, and just be like, yo, I'll help, I'll EP this shit for you. That's fucking dope, man.
that's good. When somebody believes in you and they help or back you, that is important. And
Yeah.
the humans that were upset at him, that turned on him, I remember that at the time while you guys were talking about that, and I just found that to be silly. But that's humans in a nutshell. Like if you do
Hmm.
something they don't like, they will turn on you fast as fuck. But you cannot allow that to stop you from going down your path, regardless of what the humans are doing, because if he let that get to him, there would be no Shelby Oaks.
Yeah. There'll be no movie, like movies in general. That's why it's like, yeah, like some of the best directors are like some of my favorite directors. They don't be giving a fuck like that. Sometimes you gotta tune out the fans, like respect them, but also tune them out at the same time, because then they're like, so you can get your vision out. You know.
Right. I
Well,
mean, like
shit. I mean,
take Quentin
but those
Tarantino.
humans are not. Wait, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like Tarantino. Look, Tarantino will tell you, quit to go fuck yourself. When he did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and remember people got mad about the Bruce Lee scene, including myself. I was like, dude, how you gonna do Bruce like that? And he was like, you know what? Okay, I can understand if it was his daughter, right? Because that's her father. Okay, but anybody else, eat a dick. Okay, eat a fucking dick.
Right, but that's so Quentin Tarantino. Like when you know his whole history, like a lot of humans were trying to discourage him. He was a dude working in a video shop, but lo and behold, that he has more money than all those humans that have been talking shit. So for somebody like me, I'm just like, that's awesome because I like hearing that, especially if you come from a background of a lot of criticism or doubt or bullying and stuff. It's very inspiring, especially when you see that individuals like that, they usually become the bosses or everybody's trying to suck their dick at one point. So I'm like, that's really cool. But the humans that attack you are not your fans. So the humans that turned on Chris Stuckman, they were never his fans. Your fans don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, for sure. With this weekend coming up, it's going to be the premiere of It, Welcome to Derry,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm excited. I'm the more I think about it, I was just like, I'm excited, but I'm still going to manage my expectations as always. But it's refreshing to finally see HBO finally get a fucking horror show. Like I'm looking at like the whole like their whole catalog. I was like, bro, they really don't got no horror shit like that.
Wasn't Lovecraft Country HBO?
That was like once, but yeah, that was one season though. That's what I'm saying. But
Was amazing. Like that was the show that I told humans to watch because that's where Jonathan Majors popped off, and I was telling humans then that man was gonna be a star. They're like, no, he's not, and I'm like, yeah, look what happened. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
yeah, it was from
one season though, so yeah, I get it.
yeah, and then like True Blood. That was probably like their last like long running horror.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But like I said, it's just like we get so many like mob shit and just different things from like HBO, but they don't really tap into horror. Like they passed on The Walking Dead, which is kind of crazy. Then they do The Last of Us. It's fucking weird.
Well, that's because so number one, Perp. So you have Tales from the Crypt, right? That was a big thing when I was a kid growing up in the 90s,
Facts.
right? But
Facts.
it's just that a lot of the horror stuff from HBO's standpoint, they felt that the audience was too limited. So at the time when The Walking Dead was being pitched around, they're like, nah, like nobody's gonna watch that. And then when AMC picked it up, they only did a few episodes, kind of thinking the same thing as HBO, but they had a little bit more faith. And then when it broke every single TV record possible, then they were like, "Oh shit, we gotta hurry up
Yeah,
and
they
make
shot.
a season."
Yeah, they fucking they shot themselves in the foot with that. They could have, because I could only imagine, like, because that was one of the bigger problems with Walking Dead is the budget stuff. Like they always have budget constraints. If they had the HBO Warner Brothers budget, man, they would be good, man. We'd probably
Right.
get but we probably wouldn't have got Andrew Lincoln at the same time. But
Sure. But see, and I like and more like the Warner Brothers budget and stuff back then. They ain't got no fucking money now. That's why they about to get bought out. But yeah.
yeah, so well, welcome to Derry. I don't know if they're doing like a 2 episode premiere or they just doing like 1 episode. But I wanted to kind of get y'all's expectations and predictions. What are your expectations, Rashad?
Well, like you, I just because I loved the first the second one I thought was decent. I think a lot of people didn't really like the second one, but I thought it was all right. So yeah, so coming into this, yeah, I keep my expectations kind of low because I mean, when it comes to Killer Clowns, Art the Clown is that nigga right now. I'm not really checking for Penny. I'm not checking for Pennywise, to be honest with you, but
I would say a runner up, but like he's not going to ever pass Art. But like I just like the way he fucking does his fucking the Jester. Like I watched the Jester too. I was like, just the way he just moving and doing magic tricks while killing him up, like that shit's fucking fly to me. Like that shit's really dope to me. But
is that on TV right now?
It's the first one, second one.
I
don't know if the second one's on. Okay. The first one I think is on Tubi, but I don't know if the second one is on streaming yet. I think it's available for digital.
Okay.
Some shit like that, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, but don't get me wrong, I'm definitely gonna watch it, but I'm not like Stranger Things excited. You know what I'm saying? Like Stranger Things, I'm like, damn, that shit need to hurry, but come on. But Welcome to Derry, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna check it out. That's
how about you, Terrence? What are your expectations?
So, first, because you guys said those things, even though I like Art the Clown more than Pennywise, like Pennywise is that clown, just simply because of the writing that comes with him. Like the fact that he can literally be anything is the definition of terrifying. Like he's forever shape-shifting. And there's a problem with that because some humans, they can be limited by a specific phobia, but then Pennywise is like, well, what you afraid of, bitch? I'll just turn into that instead. So I'm like, that's very intriguing to me, right? Because that most humans will not overcome their fears, which is what makes them so powerful, right? So when you look at that and then you look at the possibilities and the potential of the series, when I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks pretty good. But what I don't want to happen, which I think will be that Alien Earth shit, like where I signed up for aliens and then we got a bunch of fucking synthetics all the time. Like I don't want
fucking love that. I love that about Alien Earth.
I don't like that because it's misleading with the marketing. So like I don't want it to be where we only see Pennywise a couple of times, even though I know that's gonna happen. Like it doesn't mean that the series can't be good, but I want to see Pennywise. Everybody does, just like they wanted to see the alien. So you don't want to do that. I think that like when it comes to these shows, they need to learn from multiple examples of what humans had issues with. That would be Alien Earth or Daredevil Born Again, where you're not showcasing what everybody showed up for. You got to be careful not to do that.
Well, I'd say another quick example of that, Terrence. I remember when they released Freddy's Nightmares. Yeah, y'all probably too young to remember that show. But when Freddy's Nightmares came out right after Elm Street 4, so Freddy was at the height of his popularity. And then when Freddy's Nightmares came out, they marketed it like it was going to be his show. When really he was just like, he would open the show like the Crypt Keeper. He would say what the episode would be about. But Freddy was probably in maybe 2 episodes.
Right.
Out of the whole season. You know what I mean? And as a fan, as a kid, I'm like, this shit's trash, man. Freddy's not even in this shit. but it's all Freddy's nightmares. You know,
right? That I've seen. I'm a little bit familiar with that, Rashad. So that is very true. And you know, again, like humans need to understand, like when you break something down, obviously you have the idea of storytelling and acting and stuff like that. But that doesn't change what I said. Like if you're telling me, oh, like imagine the idea Scream 7, and then an hour and 40 minutes go by and we don't see no Ghostface. I'm like, where the fuck is the character? Like what's I don't like that. Especially if in the trailer itself it seems like Ghostface is there the entire time, but all that shit was actually at the end of the movie. I'm like, stop doing that kind of shit.
But we're going back to Alien Earth real quick, and going back to Welcome to Derry. I'll agree to disagree, but like to me, I like the fact that like we got different things outside of the xenomorphs. We got other aliens, other threats and stuff, and I feel like people kind of missed the point of what they were setting up. Because at first I thought this was going to be a limited series, but then there was like, oh, this is going to have multiple seasons. It makes sense that it ended the way it did because it's setting up for other things to come down the line and stuff. And like, but
okay,
that aside.
Wait. So with that said, let me be clear. Like I like the other aliens that were introduced aside from the xenomorphs, but the problem is there was too much time on the synthetics. Like when you look at the entirety of that series, if they would have did maybe 1 or 2 episodes focused on the synthetics, no problem. Wayland, Yutani, and all those, that's cool. But get back to the xenomorphs and all those other aliens and show them ripping motherfuckers apart. That's what we're there.
And we got that though, but we did get that in abundance throughout the whole entire series. It wasn't like, oh, nobody died or anything like that. But what I like about
there was way more talking than humans getting ripped apart.
But that's fine. But that's fine. But that's fine though. Like I feel like people have an issue with just like they want like more action and less substance with certain shit. I was just like, it's cool to have a balance, but let me like what I like about the synthetics, and it goes back to what Moro was talking about. It was like, when is a machine not a machine? And we're seeing that with not only the aliens, we're seeing that with the humans, we're seeing that with the synthetics, and so it's like they're all kind of like doing different things at once and whatnot, and seeing the different perspectives and like philosophies and just all that stuff is just really intriguing to me. And I can understand like some people just wanted more more xenomorphs and stuff, and I think we're going to get that for sure.
But that's my thing though. I don't like when they're like, we're going to get more. You need to have a balance. Like I love substance too, but I want to see a balance. Like don't be giving me fucking Matt Murdock talking the whole time and then you give me a little Daredevil. There should be a balance, because if not, then you might as well change the name to Synthetic Earth, because that's basically what it is, with aliens being the special guests. So, even though I liked it, you still need to do more to entice the fans for why they showed up in the first place. That's a mistake, and they keep doing that. They need to stop.
Keeping on you, what are your predictions for Welcome to Derry? I think it's like 8 episodes.
My predictions is that within that series, again, I don't think we're gonna get much Pennywise. I think we'll have a couple of cool scenes, but I'm predicting
probably the last 2 episodes, maybe.
Oh God, most likely, like pictures gonna be like, man, that one time I saw Pennywise, man.
But like his presence, but like you said, he's shapeshifting, so his presence is always going to be there. Like from episode 1, we're not going to see the clown Pennywise until
Now here's the thing with that, right? If it turns out that we see Pennywise morphing, he's a scarecrow over here, or he turns into this teacher because this person was scared of their kindergarten teacher, and we know that it's him, that's fine, because he's there in the spirit of what he is, which is changing into whatever the person is afraid of. But like, let's say if it's just like, man, that one time I saw him, or when I was a kid, he popped up, but we don't see any inklings of that, that's a problem. But I am predicting that we're going to like a lot of the characters, and then we'll just get Pennywise towards the end, which I don't want. But that's what I'm predicting. Little Pennywise will be in cool scenes, but we're not going to get much of him.
I like the fact that like each season they're going to be going back and further into the past, so it's like different. We're gonna have different cast and stuff like that. So we're like an anthology in a way. But Rashad, what's your predictions?
You asked me that the first time.
I said your expectations first, but then like I was
Oh, okay. What's this one? I'm sorry.
predictions.
Oh, predictions. Shit, I don't know. I mean, I hope they don't do the whole shoehorn them in at the end. You know what I'm saying? I don't need another Freddy's Nightmares. Or didn't they do the same thing with Godzilla with the monsters?
The first one,
Yeah,
the Monarch
series
shit.
that they had. Yeah. Didn't they do that where they had him like come out like the Winter Soldier like every once in a while, and then you know.
I'm telling you, it's that teasing. It's like the sexy chick coming in, and then she like closes up like, no, not tonight. It's like, why the hell did you come in here then? Like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
But I also understand that, like, you know, you don't want Pennywise to completely overshadow like certain things, or like certain characters can be so big or so popular that like then once they pop up, they don't care about nothing else. It's just like, you know, but it's like it goes back to what Terrence was saying. You gotta find a balance and stuff like that with it.
Right.
You don't want to do too much Pennywise and just. But my predictions is like everybody gotta die in this first season. Like everybody got died. Like.
That
was my biggest like. That's why it's kind of hard for me to go back to like watching whether it be the Tim Curry it or you know the most recent it. It's just that the conclusion how they get rid of him. It's like you just fucking make fun of him or just roast him. It's just that was kind of fucking late to be honest. Like I wish they would like I wish they could have found a different alternative. To be honest,
it wasn't just them roasting him. It was the point that okay, so the reason why that ending was compelling, like I was telling humans, is that these children overcame their fears. I know a bunch of adults right now that are bitches that are scared of shit like crazy. And we're talking about irrational stuff where you're like, wait, you scared of that? But these children were able to stand up to that thing. And it was a progression because they were scared the entire movie until they figured out like we can beat this if we stay together and we show that we're not afraid. I'm like, that's actually a powerful metaphor for the idea of reality. Like you can do anything that you put your mind to.
Yeah, I still feel like that. Yeah, they could have definitely. It could have been executed a little bit, but like a little stronger. Because I just felt like that second part just came off weak, a little weak.
I mean, I agree with you, Perp. Because I mean, Terrence, I understand what you're saying, but when you have a character like Pennywise like that, and he goes out that way, it's almost like underwhelming. You know what I mean? Like you spend like a grand. Hello, you spell like a grand finale. Like I mean, like for example, Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite horror movie of all time, right? But I hated the way Freddy went out in the first movie, man. All she did was call him a piece of shit, and he fucking disappears into oblivion. You know what I'm saying? I always hated that.
Like, so the humans that read the It book, I was like, okay, so would he go out like that? They was like, yeah. I'm like, well, if it's in the fucking book, then
I was about to say it is in the book. Yeah, technically it is in the book. Yeah.
But also, I am glad that they have not adapted the book, you know, properly, like to the T, because we already know, like the ritual of Chud or whatever fuck. Like I don't know what Stephen King was thinking about, or man probably got put on a list at some point. You know what I'm saying? But that shit was weird.
Hey. Shout out to Stephen King. Like there,
yeah, I mean, but he is a weirdo. He is a weirdo for sure, though. Yeah, there's no doubt on that.
Hey, his work has just been adapted so heavily, and every time I hear his name, there's like an intrigue. I'm like, I wonder what this story is going to be, because he always has these dark, compelling characters, and then when you actually break them down to their minute detail, I'm like, these characters are so relatable. Even the psychotic ones, you know, assuming that humans wish to be honest about who they are, which we know most time they won't be. But yeah.
Okay. Next thing I wanted to talk about real quick, because a lot of people, I've been just kind of seeing this, people saying this. Has this been the weakest October for horror releases? I would say, just to kind of kick things off, I would say I think it's just the opposite, because usually for the last couple of years, like the first like week or two are like really heavy or really stacked with a bunch of different movies, and now it's just kind of like reversed. where now all the horror stuff is now coming out towards the end of the month.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. This might be a weak October because I can't think of any dope ass horror movies that came out this month. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it, Perla. I'm going through my AMC list right now, man, and let's see. Probably the best shit that I've seen in October was Nightmare on Elm Street on the big screen.
Yeah, some of the best stuff are on streaming and stuff on not like Shudder, like or like you can find stuff on like as far as new stuff.
Yeah,
it'll be on Shudder and stuff like that. But as far as like as far as what got released in the theaters, I kind of like Dream Eater. That was interesting. The Eli Roth joint. I don't know if I'm going to rewatch that because it's just like it had a cool atmosphere about it. But like you got a bunch of older movies too. Like they were playing Scream. They played Nightmare at the beginning of this month. They had Halloween, I think, at one point. If I'm not mistaken. Terrifier is going to be on the 29th.
See, I didn't.
Candyman. They came. I think.
Rashad told me about Scream 1. I was like, I didn't know that because I wasn't able to see the first 3 Screams in theaters. That was like I had to go to Blockbuster to get those to watch them back then. The first one I saw in the theater was the 4th one. So if I'd have known that, I would have definitely been there because as all horror fans know, that's a landmark. If you remove Scream 1, the genre is done because it was cooked at that time until Scream saved it.
Yep. So with that out the way, I was gonna have this next one, like favorite horror movie of the month. For me, it's gonna be Chainsaw Man, for sure, because I fuck with that shit. What about you, Terrence?
Oh, of the month, huh? I'm kind of like with Rashad. Like I'm trying to think of all of the horror films that came out this month. Could I maybe do like the year? Because then I feel like there's like infinitely more options.
No, just go with the more. You could just say Good Boy. Just say Good Boy.
Was Good Boy October?
Yeah, that came out top of the month.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Damn, would I say that's my favorite though? Like, I don't know about that.
For the month? Come on, Terrence.
Wait, what was the list that you said all the movies that you saw this month? You saw Black Phone.
So I saw
Conjuring.
so if we go from the beginning of October, let's see. So the Black Phone 2, The Conjuring Last Rites, Good Boy. Then what was the other ones that I said? There was a couple more. Yeah, I'm missing a couple, but wait, go ahead.
So would you say like The Conjuring was your favorite this month that you've seen? Or Good Boy?
No.
I didn't hate it. It wasn't terrible.
Man, that shit was weak sauce like I've ever seen it. Like, man, I wanted my money back. I was like, can I have my money back? What the fuck? Like, shit, I thought I was about to be possessed up in that theater, taking somebody out after that shit. But yeah, I guess you know what? I'll probably go with Good Boy just in the sense because if we're focused only on the month, just because, again, I was with Indy. I turned into a whole dog and I was with him because I'm like, somehow this dog is a better actor than a lot of actors in Hollywood. I'm like, how was it that he would just be looking around the corner and then he would just look at his master like, hey man, I'm trying to tell you something over there. Oh, so you just gonna ignore me, trying to give me some treats and shit. I'm trying to save your damn life. These humans are fucking up. It's like Indy knew that he was in a horror film. It was like it was all over his face. And then even like when you have those moments where he was backing up, that shit was so captivating on the big screen. I was like, I've never seen a dog this trained aside from like the Homeward Bound dogs that, the Homeward Bound films like that came out when I was a kid. But I was like, this dog is just so
like Lassie, the next Lassie. They're going about to remake Lassie next.
To fact. So I was like, because I only think about when you think about dogs in movies, I think about the ones from Homeward Bound, like I mentioned, and then Hooch from Turner and Hooch with Tom Hanks. Like that's all I think.
Airbud too.
Yeah, Airbud was fine, but it's just I feel like the other ones they had more of the the emotional reactions that I be looking for when it comes to animals. Because I'm like, you really
That's
got to
fair.
sit,
Yep.
you know. And then with Indy, I'm like the way that scene where when his master got snatched and then he tried to get him and he went tried to get through the door and it closed and then he went down the cellar and the way he started crying, I was just like, man, y'all got Terrence. The fact that they got Terrence to care, I was like, that's how you know like something was on point. Because I at first when the movie started, I was like, man, fuck this dog. Nobody care about no dog. It only took
that goes to show the loyalty of a dog. God damn it, a dog will kill a nigga to protect you. They will love you. Matter of fact, I heard somebody say, I don't know how true it is, but I heard somebody say that if you die in the same house with your so if you die in the same house as your dog, right? You die before your dog will lay there and die with you after a while, right? Like once he knows you're not getting
That's what should happen in Good Boy. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. So, but with a cat will start eating on you within a few days. When that motherfucker start getting hungry, a cat will start feeding on you when you die.
But you know what though?
Dogs and cats.
But you know what though? What got me was aside from the movie, like the ending where, you know, when he was like, you got to stay here now, you can't come with me. And then it's just like he was kind of pacing and then he sat down. And then the chick came in like, hey, come with me. And then he was looking back and forth like, should I just wait for my master to come back or should I just go? And I was like, how the fuck is there so much dialogue and this dog don't talk? Like that shit was crazy.
Yeah, that was wild. But let me to kind of wind things down, but I don't want to put Rashad on the spot, but I need to ask you why do you hate Hereditary? Because that just let's start there. Let's argue. I want to argue.
Okay. Well, let me tell you something. I don't hate it. All right. The first time I watched it, I hated it because I think I went in with too high expectations because when they marketed this movie, right, they did a great job with marketing because they were saying that it's the scariest movie since The Exorcist. It's scarier than The Exorcist, right? Greatest horror movie in the past 10 years. It'll scare your socks off. You're gonna have nightmares. You'll never be the same. You know, all this like this is supposed to be a revolutionary horror film, right? And I walked out of that shit like, yo, that was some unseasoned chicken. What the fuck was that? The last image I had in my head when I walked out was a bunch of naked ass, dusty ass people with their titties hanging out. You know,
and that's so crazy because it's like, but every horror movie uses that tagline, the scariest movie. But like one of the best horror movies in the last decade, I still say that, bro, because I've only seen this movie twice in theaters. Like once when it first came out, and then the second time when they re-released it, and that movie just is ingrained into my brain. Like there's certain scenes and I've noticed that, like, when I hear people talk about like different movies, like this one guy I watched on his podcast, he watched The Shining for the first time, does not understand the hype around it and shit. And it's like, and you mentioned you don't really like, I don't, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you don't really like supernatural shit. So maybe that plays a part in it. Maybe.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say the human didn't understand the hype around The Shining? Did he watch the movie?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was just like, I was like, man, that shit's gas from the minute it starts. Like you hear that
right?
Like that shit is big.
I'm like, any horror fan that you talk to, like that
horror movie.
Jack Nicholson smiling and shit. I'm like, that's like they show that all the time on whenever they say a horror movie marathon, they always show Jack Nicholson from The Shining for a reason.
Yeah.
But Rashad, continue.
Yeah. So all right. So second time around watching it, I appreciated it just a little bit more because I did find myself getting into the story a little bit. So to me, the highlight of the movie is what's the actress name?
Toni Collette.
Toni Collette crushed it. She is the best part of the movie, bro. Like, so the whole thing with her grieving in her own way and you know, coming to terms with her daughter dying and then not really, you know, communicating with the son. You know what I'm saying? The son's like begging her, like, listen, I don't care, hate me, get mad at me, whatever you have to do, just talk to me. And that whole scene at the dinner table, all that stuff was great. But then it started getting it started losing me when it get to the whole you know, when they start doing the what's that shit called? When they talk to the dead.
The seance, the seance.
Seance,
But that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, when you watch the movie and stuff, like,
You know?
they have been hinting at, like, they've been just giving you breadcrumbs in visual, like, narratives where you see when you see old girl cutting off the heads of, you know what I'm saying, and there's always if you notice in, like, little details, there's always something guiding Tony Collette's character. You know what I'm saying? There's always something weird or pushing certain characters, or just even, like, I watched, like, a video essay today, and I was just like, because I always pick up on different things when watching, like, Hereditary, and, like, the symbolism is really dope. It's just like the symbolism of a tree, like, you know, from the light pole to just where they're even at, where their house is made out of wood, surrounded by trees and stuff, like, and just what that, like, what this tree symbolizes. You can go back to, like, a family tree, and just the fact that, like what I like about this movie is, one, day it has a dark ass ending. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they could have easily, you know, throw on some bullshit where, like, you know, they could have saved the day and it'd be a happy ending. They get rid of the spirit, but, like, once old girl loses her head, it's a wrap. It's already too late, because, like, once they did the seance, that was all a part of the plan, because old girl that came there and said, like, it was all a trick. You know, it was all to
open the quote unquote portal, as my daughter would like
yeah.
to say. Open up the portal.
Yeah, and that spirit was always with them. He just needed a male host.
Oh, a male host. Okay.
Yeah, he just needed a male host. So it's like it's very layered and stuff. And I just like Ari's style with that, just that, and Midsummer. I don't know what he's doing with, like, Beau is Afraid, and I haven't watched Eddington, but I just really enjoy it. Is it scarier than The Exorcist? I feel like when we say scariness, I feel like that varies. That's subjective as well too. Everybody has a different tolerance of what they consider scary.
Hold on. So,
because I definitely think there are moments in the Hereditary that are, like, fucking terrifying, or just really well done and shit like that.
So you're right about, you know, things being terrifying, being subjective. I mean, nothing scares me, so none of this shit is terrifying. I just look at it as an entertainment thing. But when it comes to The Exorcist, I will never forget that shit, just because the visuals of that fucking head spinning around and shit, like, that's seared in my mind, just like Jack Nicholson. There's certain
but I mean, yeah, because so, like, The Shining, for example, right? When you think of The Shining, you think about the blood coming out the elevator. You think about the fucking the twin girls that creep the fuck out of you. Jack Nicholson with the axe. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many memorable moments. And with me, when you think of Hereditary, the only thing you think of is a girl getting their head taken off by the fucking light pole.
Nah, I'm the complete opposite. My favorite moment in that movie, and I was like, man, this motherfucker is, like, cooking with this shit, is when her old boy's sister gets decapitated, and he's just driving home. He doesn't say a fucking word, and he lays down, and it's like the next morning. To say, like, he doesn't even go to. I don't even think he fucking falls asleep early. Like, and then all you hear in the background is Toni Collette just walking towards her. You know what I'm saying? You hear everything. And then, like, her just screeching, and then it just transitions into her to just constantly going into, like, this fucking depression. I just thought that whole transition was fucking fire. That's the stuff that I really liked about it.
The marketing for that movie was definitely inflated, because even though when you have horror films, they're like, oh man, they usually say you haven't seen nothing like that this summer or this week. Right. But the way they were building that up, and then when I actually watched it, I'm like, it's okay, but they just made it seem like it was going to be this groundbreaking next level.
Change everything.
Anything like I don't.
And I think it was. I really think it was, and I think it's gonna. It's probably gonna be one of those movies, like, over time people will appreciate it more, similar to, like, similar to, like, a Shining, because a lot of people didn't like it, like, at first when it first came out, and then over time people just loved it. You know what I'm saying?
But in all fairness, though, man, I'm not a fan of that guy. What's his name? Ari Aster. I don't like
Ari Aster. Yeah.
I didn't like The Witch. I didn't like well, I didn't see Midsummer, but
no, The Witch. I think The Witch was that was Robert Egger, I think. Or
okay. I thought Ari Aster did The Witch. Never mind then.
Okay, so yeah, the presentation of that kind of movie, like I said, like, I feel like objectively the movie's okay. Like, I didn't like it. like there's certain things that I look for in horror films, even though I have a broad taste. Like I really just prefer, individuals just getting snatched up by their neck and stabbed. That's why I like Jason and Michael Myers so much. Like, but at the
Yeah,
same
you like more slashers. You know what I'm saying?
right, like
That's
and like
me. I'm a
scream
slasher
shit.
guy. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
slasher.
but at the same time, though, I can appreciate, something that's very intelligent, like Phantasm One specifically, like
Mhm.
where you have to think the entire movie. I can appreciate psychological horrors to where you can have philosophical discussions as well. But it's just that for my own entertainment, I just prefer, slashers more than anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh wait,
and I think before you go, Rashad, and I think with Hereditary, that could very much be like an Exorcist or The Shining for some people, like definitely for like a Gen Z, or you know what I'm saying, like people kind of growing up at the same time, like you know and like I said, like a lot of people might look at The Exorcist or The Shining and might look at them as boring movies, but it's just like those come from like this. They're kind of in the same vein as far as like trying to do something more than just like, oh, it's just a demonic possession. It's like it's a lot. There's a lot more layers to it. You know
Let
what I'm
let
saying? And
one of my friends tell me that, Perp. Like, let one
Mhm.
of my friends text me and be like, "Man, see, I Shining, and I thought it was boring. I'm deleting that motherfucker's number immediately." Like, there's certain
well, hold on.
films like you don't get to do.
Well, hold on. Well, I just gotta say, so before I get to Hereditary, I just want to say
yeah,
something about The Exorcist. I showed my
go ahead.
daughter that movie. I think she was about around 12, right? And she was curious because she heard it was the scariest movie ever, right? So she said, "Dad, I want to watch The Exorcist." And so I said, "Okay." And I haven't seen it in years myself, so I was expecting her to be very traumatized and frightened when she watched it. And do you know that this heifer was laughing like it was a comedy?
That,
Like
that
when she,
that's what I.
That's disturbing.
Hey,
yeah, she
you
was
know what,
laughing,
Rashad?
bro.
Like, so you think there's something wrong with someone laughing because if you see me watching horror films, because humans like, oh my god, it's so scary, and then this, I'm just sitting there laughing, or I'm just like, okay, like, so that's my reaction to a lot of stuff. I just
Well,
laugh.
I don't. Well, but yeah, but some horror, yeah, you meant to laugh at it, especially the so bad it's good shit. But when she was sticking herself with the crucifix, when she was, you know, crucifix fucking
Yup.
herself, my daughter at
Mhm.
first she was like, Then she said, "Pfft," and just started laughing, and I said, no, this ain't a
That shit was
comedy.
funny. Like,
It's a
and that
comedy.
shit,
This is serious. It's real life.
Yeah, that's
hey,
serious.
that shit had me laughing too, Rashad. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm
Oh
not
my
gonna hold you.
god. Well, yeah. So that was my daughter. Yeah. So I think as generations go on, like for my generation, yeah, The Exorcist was the scariest thing ever. But I guess as
Mm,
generations go
it's
on,
different.
it's different. But back to Hereditary. I have to highlight one more thing too that I definitely
Mm,
appreciated more that I didn't notice the first time was at the end where your boy was looking for his mom or whatever, and when
yeah,
she was hiding out, when she was on top of the what you call it,
yeah.
hiding
She's
out
on the
like
ceiling.
yeah, when it was not a focus, I said, "Yo, is that her in the back chilling?" And then when she jumped down and started chasing him, I ain't gonna lie, man,
Yeah.
that did get me a little bit. That did get me
Yeah,
a
and then
little
like
bit.
the other scene where he went downstairs into like the living room and she's in the corner and shit like that, and
Right?
she just like kind of like slow walks, like kind of speed
Yeah,
walks and shit while
yeah.
she's chasing. Yeah, that was crazy. Or just lighting herself on fire.
Dog,
I,
how did she not get nominated for that movie, man? Like, even though I'm not a fan of that joint, but I appreciate her performance, man. I thought she was dope in the
Well,
movie.
there's a specific reason why that doesn't happen. For the same reason that the Academy does not acknowledge comic book based stuff. Like you got to really be on your shit for you to get on their radar.
That's
Like
true.
otherwise, you're just
It
not. It's just not happen. But
Yeah,
like I know Sinners is definitely going to get a Best Picture nom, but it's probably
it
not going to
better
win. But
be.
I would love it to win just because now that would probably be a shift.
right.
And maybe not next year or just like in the future though, they'll start to kind of acknowledge certain horror movies more.
Right, right.
If Sinners is not at the Oscars, I'm gonna be pissed. Like if I
It's
don't
definitely
see
gonna be
it,
at the Oscars. I don't think
it
I just
better
don't think it's gonna clean up like that. But
it better be, and Michael B. Jordan better be there for Best Actor. There's three actors I want to see for Best Actor. It needs to be Jonathan Majors for Magazine Dreams. It needs to be
that's not gonna
Michael
happen.
B. Jordan. I don't
Okay.
care. He still
Yeah,
deserves to be.
I feel you though. Yeah, like he definitely
Yeah,
deserves it.
and There's
Um,
Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and then the third one. This may surprise everybody, but Indy, the dog from Good Boys. Sometimes you gotta have.
yeah, like they gotta make a new
think-
category for animals or something like that.
I think Terrence is starting to warm up to the animals, man.
Hey.
Your heart's becoming like the Grinch, bro.
It's warming up.
Whoa. I want to make the listeners clear. I don't have no heart. What I have is Terrence. That means that I just operate.
Ebenezer Terrence.
So yeah, like but hey, when it comes to Indy though, like, can you imagine Indy going up on stage and like, just the whole speech?
I want to thank God.
Right. And then
you would love that, wouldn't you?
Hell yeah, I'll be clapping. I'm like, yep.
I thank my owner.
Yeah, I would just be translating for everybody. I'll be like, hey, you want to thank God? You want to thank all the individuals that created the dog bones and the director of this movie. Like, I'll just be going in.
But as far as best actor, I think it's set in stone for Timothy Chalamet to get there, because a lot of people been talking about this Marty Supreme stuff, so I could see him getting it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that, man. He been cleaning up between Dune and Wonka and all that shit. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Going back to Hereditary, it's just interesting, when people. I've always said this too. It's just like I've seen this on TikTok and stuff like what was the best decade, or what was like the single perfect year for horror stuff. You could argue like 2022, or some people say like the video I was watching was like saying 07. There was a lot of fire that came out in 07, but.
Mm-hmm.
In general, as I came to the realization, I was like, yo, like there's no bad decade of horror. Like you could always find like some gems, or just a lot of just quality horror within each decade and stuff like that.
Facts.
Okay, so maybe not a bad decade, but I can definitely say that before Scream 1, you did have a lot of trash though. So that's a problem. But within the mix of all that trash, you definitely had some gems, but there needed to be a heavy course correction. So I'm glad they at least got their shit together, because that'd be a damn shame if we didn't get nothing else.
And it's interesting to kind of see those shifts, those movies that do kind of, Scream started something, you know what I'm saying? And similar to like Hereditary, because like after Hereditary, we got, well, no, Get Out came out before Hereditary, but like Get Out and Hereditary, that's like, that's shifting into something else, like more serious, or what people would call elevated horror or some shit like that.
Well,
but even that, like,
you know what I'm saying? It made so much money that, then studios felt more comfortable now putting more money behind.
It almost made $1 billion. That never happens. It won't happen again. But it's like,
and for that success, that for it to be that successful, that also helped Art. And when he got his movie, and because clowns at that time were just popping. You remember, like in 2016, like the clowns was walking around and shit like that. So it's like, it's interesting to just see these different shifts and stuff. And like, with Terrifier 2, that was kind of like ushering. Well, I would say like Scream 5, Terrifier 2, that, and like even like X and Pearl, that was kind of like them, like there's this kind of slasher resurgence. I would even say like Halloween 2018 to an extent and stuff like that. Because like for a while that like slasher. You saying what?
No, I was saying, that shit made bank when Michael Myers came back. That shit was clean up.
Yeah, and that I could say, like from that start is like we started to kind of see more slashers being put on the big screen, because before that, like we haven't seen a slasher since like Scream 4, and you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but see, I just want them to stop making these religious-based horror movies. I'm getting tired of that shit, because a lot of times they just be generic.
Dog, when I went to see Shelby Oaks today, right? And my daughter told me about it, but I never seen the trailer for it. I didn't know that they're making a horror movie based on Jesus.
Yeah, that shit looks tight though. I fuck with that. That looks tight. With Nicolas Cage.
What are we talking about? I don't think I'm aware of this.
Okay.
It's the Nicolas Cage is he's playing Jesus' father and stuff.
Yeah, he's playing Joseph. So Jesus is like, got these X-Men powers and shit that they don't understand, and some people think it's for evil. And Joseph, played by Nicolas Cage, is bugging out like, damn, what the hell's wrong with my son? Are we going to be able to harness and control this power? They're thinking it's like some evil shit. but it's
You know what this reminds?
I ain't fucking with that.
You know what that kind of like the trailer really reminded me of just like the beginning of The Exorcist, like them out on the fucking where the fuck were they at? Like somewhere out in the desert and shit like that. That's what it kind of reminded me of. But I was like seeing like the cinematography, I was like, yeah, like yo, like Nicolas Cage gonna eat, he gonna eat on in this joint. Like
I just off of the description, I want to see that because I always tell humans that you can't just do like plain ass religious shit, right? Like you do have your exception, like Passion of the Christ, but look at all the other shit that fails. Like you got to put some sort of like horror spin or comedy or something to elevate. Like This Is the End with Seth Rogen and them when they had that whole apocalyptic thing. You got to do something like that.
Like literally, like I would even say like Jesus's whole story is a horror story. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like
yeah, you had Book of Clarence last year that people slept on, but I thought it was dope.
Right, but see,
that was all.
Even though the Book of Clarence was great, it's still too strictly religious. Like there's no, like I said, there's no from a fantastical standpoint. Again, you know, you cannot use Passion of the Christ. That's an anomaly. You know what I mean? But outside of that, it doesn't work.
Well, Terrence, just to give you some history, the last time they did that, the Catholic Church lost their fucking mind. There was a movie that came out in '86 called The Last Temptation of Christ that Martin Scorsese directed. Did you ever see that one?
I did.
Woo, people lost their fucking mind.
Nobody. Let me tell somebody something. I don't give a damn what the Catholic Church think. We out here making movies. If you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. Like it's as simple as that.
Yeah, that should be blowing my shit because like people like when everybody was like, oh man, I had to walk out of Terrifier 3 once like I saw Vicky put the horns on her head. I was like, that's what made you like not the shit prior, but that. I was like, that's why I know you was bullshit.
Humans are wild and they're hypocritical. You're like, wait, so you walked out on that, but you didn't walk out on all this. Like, get the fuck.
And it's the same thing with Sinners too. And then like there's this whole like kind of thing going on right now on TikTok or where like Deontay Kyle was like, you know, he was saying something like, yo, no, Jesus is in the way, whatever the fuck. But then everybody's like, oh, like calling, and then like you have a bunch of religious motherfuckers saying like, oh, your ancestors are the devil. They're probably burning in hell. It's like, why the fuck would you say that? Like,
I cannot stand when humans speak in absolutes when it comes to religion. Like, it's so silly. And then while they do that, they try to demonize others or they get mad at you because you enjoyed a movie. So it's like, shut your ass up. Watch something else.
Well, Terrence, just feel lucky that you don't have to live with it because my daughter right now, and you know, and I love my baby to death. I spit her out my nuts. I love my baby to death. But this motherfucker, she's what they call a babe in Christ, where she's newly into so she's at the place now where everything is so fucking extreme. Like if I scratch my nuts, I'm going to hell. All right, I can't do shit without my daughter ridiculing me or Dad, that's wrong, right? I'm like, get the fuck away from me, man.
Hey, that's funny you say that, Rashad, because one of my friends, his dad is like that, right? Like if we curse or say we watching a horror film, he'd be like, you guys are going to hell for watching that. I'm like, oh, you mean the place you can't prove exists? Whenever I say that to him, he gets real quiet and he'll have like a mad look on his face, but that's how I get him to shut up.
Yeah, that's the same thing. That's like how my mom is. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love my mom to death. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? I don't say whatever makes her happy, that's fine, But sometimes I'll be just wanting to have like a genuine conversation and somehow like, you're like, why don't you talk to God about it? I don't want to talk to God. I want to talk to you.
Man, facts.
I can talk to him. I can talk to him whenever, but I just wanted to talk to you.
I need to talk to you right now. Exactly.
I'm trying to talk to you like, hey, man, we better pray on this. We don't need to pray. I'm trying to talk to you. Like, come on, sit down, have a conversation. It's like, it's almost like when humans do that, they're afraid. So it's like a fallback thing. That's why I don't like that.
Yeah, but my daughter is like, I almost can't talk to her no more, man. Like she got mad at me the other day. We was talking about that documentary on Netflix, The Perfect Neighbor. If y'all haven't seen that, man, that shit was god. So we were talking about that documentary, and then George Zimmerman came up in the conversation, and I said, you know what? People like her, people like George Zimmerman. It said when the day comes when black people get around him and fucking Emmett Till his ass. I said, I'm going to celebrate and tap dance like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber. My daughter says, "Dad, you know that's wrong, right?" I said, "What you mean that's wrong?" She's like, you know you shouldn't like that. I said, "What the fuck you talking about?" She's like, she said, "Dad, you know what you remind me of? You remind me of the people that celebrated when they crucified Jesus." I said, "Now you're comparing James Smith to Jesus." I said,
That is,
You think that low of me?
you think
that is great.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
That's funny. It's
Yeah.
just a phase, though. She gonna get over it. And then
Oh,
the next time,
she drives me crazy.
But I'm telling y'all, like my friend's dad, he says stuff similar to that. He's like, "Man, you guys are going to hell. It's a sin." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. So because you're a human, aren't you a sinner too?"
Yeah. We're all
Then
born.
I'm
we're all born into sin.
right. I was
Right.
like, and that's how I get him. It's like I always try to, quote the Bible back at him because he uses that to try to, gain leverage over individual. I'm like, but according to your own book, you're a fucking sinner too. So you ain't no better than the rest of us, regardless of how many horror movies you don't watch. Like, what the hell are we doing here?
Oh Lord.
Right. And it's just like if you're a Christian, you're a devout Christian, you shouldn't be watching, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be watching no horror. You shouldn't be watching nothing, really. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
If you're gonna really like, because I'm big on that too, because it's like same thing with like Muslims. Like if you're going to really devote yourself to that religion, then devote yourself to that religion. Don't play around with the shit.
Right. Do not half step that shit and quote half of the scripture. I'm like, you either go all the way or you can miss me with that shit.
Well, my daughter definitely going all the way, boys. I can't do shit. this motherfucker don't even eat pork no more. I said, "Damn, you a Christian and a Muslim?" I said, "No, you don't eat pork."
Hey,
I stopped eating pork.
Hey, yo, shout out to rapper Hop Sin. Like he said, I can't even beat my dick without getting convicted. I'm like, yep, shout out.
I can't do nothing. Can't do shit. Can't do a motherfucking thing. Yeah.
Yeah, man, this was cool. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to kind of touch on with this final episode of the season. I appreciate everybody that tuned in or checked it out later on during the week or whenever you're watching this. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate Terrence for pulling out for the finale. Save the best for last. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate Rashad just always pulling up every week. Means a lot. Next week, Halloween, Friday, 10 p.m., the Perp Show. And then after that, it's the Perp Show Awards. That's going to be the next, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm locked in right now and stuff like that. I'm putting some certain things together. So be on the lookout for that.
What you mean you're wrapping it up? Like we haven't even reached 5 hours yet.
Yep, wrapping it up. Wrapping it up like a Jimmy. Yep.
I got a pizza with my name on it getting cold right now, nigga.
But remember, like friends are valuable. It's like 10 hours really just strengthens the friendship.
Nah, nah, but I appreciate everybody that pulled up. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go sub to Rashad. Go check out Terrence. You know what I'm saying? Over there. And let me know what y'all think about this season overall and just this episode and what we discussed in the comments below. Till next time, I'll see you.
Peace.